Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to the F1 side of FTRL. We are starting season 13 on the F1 2019 game. As you can see, we're on board with Aaron Taylor. Tonight it's just going to be me and the comms, so good old lonely me. Just for this week I will have the fantastic Pagani with me next week. So, the first two rounds of the season we're running with a new format. We have the qualifying that we've got, which we're in right now, which will be setting up the first race for tonight, 25% for race 1, and then it will be a reverse grid for race 2, which will be our quota. That's currently we're at Spain. That'll be running a reverse grid on the end results for tonight, and that'll be the same for 10 weeks. We'll be having 20 rounds in total, so it should make everything interesting. The guys who finish at the front will be starting at the back for the next race, as we currently have Zumpy on pole after the one-shot qualifying, with Panda in P2, and Aspect is P3, and there's Toro Rosso. But I just want to quickly run over the fact that, as I've said, we do have the two races, so it's going to make everything just that little bit tougher, and you're going to see, in my opinion, I expect there might be a few more incidents, just as the fact that you've got a lot of difference in pace. We've got guys from all over the league in F1 who are actually racing tonight, and the one division that we've got, which is tonight on a Wednesday, it's going to be split across 10 people at the Div 1 and then 10 people at the Div 2, so essentially what we've got is two championships in one. So that's also going to make everything interesting. We can have a winner for the Div 1 and a winner for Div 2, all in one night's race, and so that's how that will be working for this season, with a new layout that's been sorted out by Connor. There's FTRL, who's onto the podium. He will be racing tonight, I believe. If I can find him on the graphic, I'm not quite sure. Yep, he is just under Panda. He'll be racing tonight as well. So, there's going to be we just started the formation lap as everyone's cars are just loading up on my screen. Very helpful off the game. So, we've got Zumpy, who is P1 in his Haas, with Panda in P2 and a McLaren, Aspect in P3 with the Toro Rosso, and Aaron Taylor is P4 in the Force India. FTRL Cat, he's spun out on the formation lap somehow, he's P5 with onto the podium P6 in the Ferrari. Just Mike P7 in the other Force India. I say Force India, it's Racing Point. We've got Nexus Cat in the Williams, with Switchback, who was doing really well last season in Division 2. He's P9 for the Mercedes. Brutus Beer, he is P10, rounding out the top 10 with the Alfa Romeo. With Junkie Sport, he's made the step up from the Williams. He's now a Red Bull driver. We got Ross in the Renault. He was Ferrari last season. Now we've got AJ, who was a Renault driver. He is now a Haas driver, with Agent Panda in P14, Lee Cole P15, Donzo 16th, also in the Ferrari with onto the podium. FTRL TRS, I believe he was Red Bull, sorry, not Red Bull, he was in the McLaren last year. He's now in the Williams with Jamie. He was in the Haas last season, now he is in the Red Bull with Zombie in P19, and the man himself, Goikarp, he's currently P20. So everyone just lines up on the grid. So I just want to point out that we've got Panda, FTRL Panda, and Agent Panda, both in McLaren. And some of you might already know, but more than one Panda is called an embarrassment of pandas, so I'm expecting those two might live up to that name at some point throughout this season. So everyone's just lining up on the grid, and we'll be waiting for the 5 red lights, which I believe will be starting just now. if the game wants to actually start them for me. So the 5 red lights are out and away we go. I haven't got the best of camera angles, unfortunately. Looks like Aaron Taylor's got a good start. He's right up on the back of Panda, who's also being attacked by Aspect as well. 3 wides into turn 1. Luckily not too much contact, just little taps at Zumpy up through the lead. We've got Cat trying it around the outside of Aaron into turn 3. Can he make that work? It's looking close between the two. Aaron's got his teammate Mike lurking on the back of them. Brutus Spears looking like he's going to be attacked in the moment. He's holding the defensive inside lines, nearly tagged the back of that Ferrari onto the podium. Nexus Cat's trying to find a way around the outside of that Williams. There's been an incident a little further back. I believe that was the Ferrari and the McLaren of Agent Panda and FTRL Donzo. So Aspect has got through. He's up into P2 with Panda third. FTRL Cat's overtaken Aaron. That's Aaron down 1 position. His teammates also gained 1. So Aaron and his teammate Mike running P5 and 6. They've got a switchback, still holding position. He's in P10 so far. He's not had too bad a start, keeping it clean throughout the pack. It looks, is that? No, I thought that was damage for a moment, so his car's okay. He's clean for now. We'll get the tyres up, that'll be a good idea. So we've got a few of the guys running the medium tyre tonight. We've got Ross, Jamie and Zombie opting for the medium tyre for the first few, well I say the first few laps, probably for about the first 10 laps around this track. We've got a move between Switchback and Nexus. I think that was done before the braking zone. That's fairly straightforward for him. Donzo's retired. What's quite happened there? I don't know. I can't see. So that's a safety car, I believe. We haven't got it saying in the top corner, but the whole track map is yellow. Or is it a virtual? I haven't got the graphic up in the top right letting me know. So I think we'll just have to guess. It looks like the safety car is coming out. So that's going to be neutralising the race for everyone. So the people who've not had the best couple of opening laps, they'll have the chance to get back up to the grid and they'll still be able to fight for that position. So everyone quieting down just a little bit after an opening lap and a half. Going a little bit crazy between lads all trying to fight for position. And that's where it brings the whole fact of, due to obviously differences in pace between the top lads who are normally driving in Div 1 and some of the lads who are usually in Div 2. There obviously is, as I've said about 10 times, that disparity in pace. And that can sometimes, if someone's got a bit of an earlier braking point, someone's got a bit of a later one, it can cause a bit of an incident. So it's one of those things that definitely shows your racecraft. We've got some drivers popping into the pit. I say a few. We've got about half the grid trying to get into the pit lane. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them went for the hard tyre, but we've got Cat. He's going for the soft. He's going for the medium, and running on the 2018 set of compounds, which isn't the right one to be using. We have the soft, mediums, and hards. So currently, Brutus has decided not to pit. That's threw him up to the lead with Leecol, currently in P2. Yet they will have to pit, so they will lose quite a bit of time in the pit lane. Pretty much everyone has got a free pit stop who's decided to take advantage of the safety car. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that some drivers could choose the hard. We've only got one driver choosing the hard tyre who's decided to run to the end. That will be TRS. He's put the hard tyre on for his Williams, so I expect he'll be trying to get that car to the end, because everyone's made the mandatory one stop as per regular Formula 1 rules. You have to make one stop per race. Most drivers have made that. It's only the top 8 that haven't, so they will all have to pit in. I think it might be a bit more harmful for them. Yeah, it's only about 2 laps, but with it being a 25% race, the tyre wear does wear out quite quickly, and that can essentially just 1 minute you've got the grip, and then the next minute that you've just been hit, you've got no grip. So it's definitely, in my opinion, might make it a bit tougher for them, but I have no doubt that they will be able to deal with it. So our pole sitter Zumpy, he's in P10. Nexus, yeah, Nexus Aspect, he's overtaken Zumpy in the pits. He is now P9, so he has the net lead of tonight's race, with Zumpy just behind. So when he gets the opportunity to make a move, he's going to have to make it quick because there's not an awful lot of laps. Leakold's pitting. He is going to put on the set of hard tyres. You've got two drivers running the hard compound. He'll be coming out at the back of the grid just behind Junkie Sport. So we're just queuing up behind the safety car. So far, we'll be waiting for that to pop back in as soon as possible. So it should make things a little interesting. We'll have cold tyres, and there'll be the differences in compound, which will also have their part to play. So once the lights go out, well, I say once the lights go out, once the safety car comes in, we'll see what happens. It should be interesting. So something I don't think I have mentioned is that with obviously you've got to have two drivers per team. One driver in the team will be Div 1 and one driver in the team will be Div 2. So that's just a little thing that I just wanted to point out real quick, just to make everything pretty straightforward for you. So the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, which we are actually at the end of this lap. So Brutus will be backing the grid up in just a moment. So Brutus definitely backing that back on the pack up. Ross near tapped the back of him, and then Jamie near tapped the back of Ross as well. So just waiting for Brutus to stick his foot down, which he's doing just now. Ross and Jamie have responded well. They're not dropping too far back. It's looking like it's getting a bit dicey on the straight. We've got Zombie trying to attack AJ into turn 1. Can he make the move? Not quite. He backs out. The few drivers, I think that was just Agent Panda getting through past Aspect. There's a spun car. I believe that was Zombie and the Toro Rosso. He's had an incident with someone else's TRS near drive straight up the back of them. Ross has managed to get Jamie through turn 3, but he's went a bit wide through 4, so that's going to give Jamie the outside line. Ross just about making his way around. I say just about making his way around. He just got down the inside, but he couldn't quite get it. Jamie hung around the outside. He still has P1 for now. So we got Guicarp currently in P4. As everyone just comes through the sweeping right hander of turn 9. We've got Nexus Aspect just. Oh, that was close. The Nexus Cat just got tagged by the back of Switchback. A little bit of contact. That's got Mike just at the back of Nexus. They've got their own little train going on so far. There's a bit of contact between the Force India of Aaron and the McLaren of Panda. So Jamie's pulled out a bit of a gap. There's nothing Ross can do down the straight. Between P2 and 3 is 1.2 seconds. They've already broke DRS. It's just getting this tight midfield pack here. We've got Zumpy all over the back of Aspect, who's in the Toro Rosso. So there's going to be a little battle going on here. I think he'll hang back into turn 4. It'll be not the wisest move to go for the dive into turn 4. So a single file for now. We'll move up the grid. It's still got Jamie's pulled out a second to Ross so far. As Lee Hall's had to pit in for a set of mediums. He's had some contact. Also, Guicarp is in the pits. He's on a fresh set of mediums. Just behind Brutus Bear, who's also pit in. So I believe that is everyone, almost everyone, to make a stop. Just a couple of lads up to the top 6 who need to make their stop. So moving to the midfield to the pack. Cat has got around Aspect. He's now up into P4. He'll be chasing the podium positions, trying to hunt down a podium. He's got his own little train behind him as he runs wide through the second to last corner. Jamie sets the fastest lap for 22 flat. The switchbacks overtaken Nexus Cats, and Panda is in the pits. So now Aaron Taylor's just making his way past Zumpy up into turn 1. That's Aaron up into 7th. He'll be trying to chase down Panda as well. On the graphic we can see TRS has just got past Panda as well, with Zombie getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Cat and Aspect, Cat's already caught up to the back of Aspect, so he's bridged a bit of a gap, I believe. Oh no, Aspect's got back past Cat using the DRS. So that's a bit of a battle going on between the two. There's a little bit of a scrap that's been going on with Junkie Sport and Mike. I think Mike's just about behind. But we're on a good battle here, so we should stick with this for now, I think. Switchback all over the back of Zumpy. He's looking to try and get through as soon as he can. He's showing good performances from the midpoint to the end of last season, so we'll be hoping to carry that performance through to this season. He did secure P2 in the Constructors in the Drivers' Championship at Monza 2 weeks ago, at the last round of season 12. So we'll be definitely trying to keep the momentum going. So we've got a bit of a slipstream going on here. We have Panda right up the back of Nexus Cat, right up the back of FTRL Cat into turn 1. These two, I think they've had a few incidents before. They have been driving here for quite a while. We've got Cat, who's had a little bump over the K. He's looking to keep that car facing north. You know, TRS is just overtaken AJ, who's in the pits for a set of mediums. So onto the podium, just slightly under attack by Zumpy, it looks. Zumpy is looking down the inside. That was close between contact with the two, just about managed to keep the cars away from each other. So a good little bit of driving from them. Aaron trying to suss out a weak spot of Cat to try and make his move to secure 5th. As Cat just runs slightly wide onto that gravel, it's looking like he's having a little bit of trouble with the tyre wear already. As Zumpy right down the inside of onto the podium, didn't quite work out for him. He's dropped another position. He's currently P9, just ahead of Nexus Cats. So move further up the grid. Jamie is blue. His pace blew up. He's pushed right away from Ross. He gained 3 seconds. So it will be Panda who's just behind Nexus Aspect. Panda's just set the fastest lap, but Nexus Cat is out of the race. I don't quite know where that was. I think it might have been the final corner. Just ran wide, clipped the grass. We'll go on board. Okay, so we can't see on board the TRS because he's pitted in, and I think there might be another safety car. So safety car already out twice this race. Ross has put on a set of soft tyres. So he will, it's actually a good call from Ross to put on the soft tyre. They're going to have a couple laps under the safety car, so we won't really have an awful lot of tyre wear under those slow laps. So it'll be a free pit stop for him. I expect Jamie will be wanting to come in at the end of this lap. He's P1 in the Red Bull. Let's see, just strolling through the grid, we've got onto the podium. He's getting a little close to Aaron on the straight under the safety car conditions, just showing him that he's there. They're both good friends onto the podium and Aaron, so I think if there's a battle between them, there'll probably be a bit of respect. I say that, but it is Connor. He goes for a move and he defends as hard as he can. As some people do know him as onto the bus. So 3 drivers at the back. We've got Mike, Goykarp and Zombie. They've all opted for the soft tyre as well. We've got Jamie pitting, as I predicted. He's on the soft tyre now as well. He'll be running that to the end. Zombie is also pitting with Cat. They have both gone on the soft compound. So everyone who's ran the medium tyre for more than 5 laps, I think they'll be pitting in sometime soon. And to me, it seems the smartest option for them to go with. But some have pitted in at the very start when there was the first safety car, so I expect they'll probably try and carry their tyre to the end. It's just another slow period of this race with the fact that the safety cars came out. There's the lads are just going to be trying to catch up to the pack, get behind the safety car as quick as possible and get the racing underway. So it's definitely up in the air right now. Yes. Obviously the guys in front, I think they have pitted in. Let's have a look at the graphics, see if you can see anything that says. Yeah, okay, great. So everyone's done a stop. The guys in front, at the front of the standing, they are on the medium tyre. They can run that to the end if they wish. They'd be running 14 laps on the tyre, so it'll be quite worn out at the end. You could do it, but those they're gonna obviously they're gonna have a lot less grip than the lads on the fresh soft, so they will be under threat as the quicker guys on the soft tyre will be trying to get through the field as fast as possible. So it's a gamble they're taking. It could work and it could not go so well for them. We'll see. As everyone's just behind the safety car. Just a couple of drivers, TRS down to Zombie. We're just waiting to catch back up to the pack. Then hopefully we should be going. Everyone trying to get that little bit of temperature in the tyre for the restart. Is that Mike? Okay, so Junkie Sport has just pit under the safety car. I thought there was an overtake under the safety car. I was going to say they're going to have to give that back pretty quick or they're going to get a penalty. So hopefully we should be back racing in not too long. I think the time that Junkie chose to pit in might not be the best because with the safety car it usually does stay out for 3 laps. So if I'm right, the safety car might be coming in this lap if Junkie doesn't catch up as quick as he can. He's going to have to push with that soft just for this lap. So everyone's getting closer now. Junkie Sport only a couple corners away from the guys up in front behind that safety car. So the safety car is going to be staying out for just one more lap. Actually no, it's not, it's coming in. Aspect is leading the pack, he'll be backing everybody up. This Junkie Sport just about makes it to the back of the pack. So he won't be losing out massively with that pit stop he just made. So Aspect holding everyone up, giving a bit of a weave in the middle of the road to heat up those tyres. Looked like he was going for it then, but not quite. I think somebody just drove towards the pit lane. Right, Aspect, he's hit the gas. He's got about 4/10. He's got a decent jump on Panda. Aaron Taylor behind, who's going to be trying to take that P2 spot. He's just pulling out slightly, having a look at it. Pops back in, decides not to go for the move. I just bit my tongue then. He got switched back just behind onto the podium. He's trying to find a way through. He's going around the outside of turn 3, so risky stuff from switchback. He's just about managed to get through onto the podium under threat. That's... I thought that was onto the podium then. It is onto the podium. Under threat from Cat. He's having a battle with him. I haven't got the best camera angles as some of the lads are deciding that they want to ghost. Onto the podium, sending Zumpy the long way around to turn 5. Trying to defend the position he has. Obviously the guys behind on the grippier tyre. Well, that's audacious from Zumpy. He's gone around the outside of turn 9. Let's see, can he mount it down the inside? He's kind of squeezing them as much as he can, gives him half the car length. It looks like that might be Zumpy through. He's up into P7. And that's going to be Ross trying to find his way through as well now. He'll be trying to get past onto the podium as soon as possible, but we'll go back to the front lads. if I can find a name. Right, so Aspects puts a gap on Panda, only half a second between them. Half a second between Panda and Aaron. A second between Aaron and Switchback, but Jamie has gone down the inside. It's going to be side by side through the first 3 corners. Switchback isn't backing out, but Jamie has just got through. He is now up into P4. So he'll be trying to get onto the back of the podium. Sitters onto the podium, he's pit in. I don't quite know why. I think he might have had a bit of a bump with someone and lost a bit of that front wing. Unfortunately, that's him down to 16th. Mike and TRS are also in the pit lane. Aspect still leading the way. Aaron Taylor about a second off with Jamie. He's going to be right up his chuff in a few corners time at that new compound. Cat, he'll be trying to find a way through Switchback not too long. The Cat, he usually goes for a move when he sees it, so there'll definitely be some fighting between them this season. He'll be giving it everything he's got. He's currently in P6. We've only got 4 laps to go. So just to note that DRS has just been enabled as Lee gives it a little corner cut there. He's been facing the right direction for the past 14 laps, so I think he'll be happy with that. He's going to go for the inside of Agent Panda. Then Brutus is going to make that 3 wide into turn 1. Brutus backs out. Lee Cole has had a bit of contact with what I believe is Panda. I think I've just jinxed Lee yet again, carrying the case on between seasons. Unfortunately for Lee, he'll be out of the points. Oh, that was close between Cat and Zumpy. Cat got very close to the back of that Haas car for a moment, as he's trying to find his way through up into P6 currently. The driver number 42. So it's all looking fairly calm between the top 4. There's not much going on, but we do have a little bit of a battle going on between 5, 6 and 7. You've got Zumpy's right at the back of Switchback, and so is Cat. He's close to the back of them as well. So these will all have DRS. The only driver in this 3-way battle who won't have it is Switchback, because he's leading the 2 of them and he's 2.5 seconds off Jamie. So he's going to have to get the energy up as much as he can for the start-finish straight, and try and defend that position with whatever straight line speed he can find. For Zumpy, it's looking like it's not going to be enough. He's right down the inside DRS, rich mix and overtake. He's just dropped it down to standard. He's in front before the braking zone. That is Switchback into 6th. Just have Brutus Spear getting past Panda on the straight. He's always Panda. He's lost his front wing into turn 2. He's had a bit of a spin. So as Lee goes a little bit wide. That was close with Junkie Sport managing to navigate his way through the 2 cars. He just about survived that. So I think he'll be happy. So the battle between these 3 is starting to calm down now. We've only got a couple laps left of this race. So wherever anybody finishes now, it will be flipped on its head for the next race. Now, one thing I didn't mention on the qualifying, as we only had a minute to do it, that we don't have points for the fastest lap or the pole lap. So practically, oh, someone goes wide there a little bit. That's not what they want to be doing. So frankly, you can't score points off qualifying, so basically it only determines your track position, as it is in real life as well. It's getting close between Panda and Aspect. To look there on the map, about 3 to 4 tenths between the 2 of them. Jamie doesn't quite look as he can get up to the back of Aaron. He's just struggling to get any closer. He does set the fastest first sector though, so that'll be encouraging for him. They'll be using that as a means of motivation to keep up with Aaron, to try and get that P3. So Cat and Switchback. Cat in dying laps of the race is starting to catch up to the back of Switchback as onto the podium, sets the fastest lap of tonight's first race. So Ross currently P8. Brutus is a P9. I think there's just a fair bit of a gap between everybody else for now. Aspect still leading the way. There's not much has changed since that safety car. It looks like his gamble to stay on the medium is working out for him. But the gamble to stay in the medium to secure that podium might be coming under. So unfortunately a bit of a hiccup. There's been reports of lag throughout the lobby, which isn't the best. A couple of drivers have been reporting that they've had quite a bit of trouble with the connection, so unfortunately that ended up booting me out of the session, it looks, which it's not the best. Little technical things happen every now and again. There's not an awful lot that can be done about it. So from the grid, well, it will be the same as it was. Everyone would have finished in the same position as the grid was all separated out going through the finishing lap, so everyone will be reversed on their position. Aspect will be moving down to last position, as we can tell here with all the points showing up. We can clearly see where everybody finished. We had Aspect take P1 with Panda taking P2. Aaron Taylor held P3 and Zumpy managed to get P4. So I don't quite know what happened with Jamie. I don't know if there was an incident with him. It looks like, let's see where Jamie is. It's not, I can't find his name. So anyway, we had Zumpy P4, Cat P5, a switchback in 6th, and Ross in 7th. Brutus was 8th with AJ in 9th with Goycart in 10th. Zombie 11th with Lee in 12th. He managed to get up a few positions. Junkie Sport in P13 with Mike in 14th. Onto the podium in 15th, beating Panda, TRS, Cat and Donzo. So I don't know what's happened with Jamie. I think he might have lagged out as well, because I can only see one Red Bull. So we'll be loading into race 2 in just a minute as the guys who are running the lobby just sort out the custom grids, put everyone into reverse order, and we should be up and going. So Jamie will be trying to get back in the lobby, and then we will be ready to go for round 2 of tonight. We're at Kota. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's a bit of a long track, it's got a mix of corners, so that should be fun. So just bear with us as we try to sort everything out. Sometimes these things happen. There's not an awful lot you can do when there's a bit of error in terms of connections. There's not an awful lot that can be done. So hopefully we will all be sorted out quite soon and we can get back to racing as soon as possible, as that is what we're all here to do. So if a couple more people popping into the stream, about 5 or 6 with us, which is all nice. Just getting everything back up and sorted again. All we can do is apologise. We'll be going into round 2. We'll be going into round 2 in about 2 or 3 minutes. So we should be getting everything underway in a couple of moments. We've got Jamie back in the lobby. Let's have a look. I don't think we have. Let's have a look. Yep, we do. Jamie, he came P4, so he didn't have an incident. He's just left the lobby to sort some things out. He's back in now though. So we all should be ready to get underway in a few moments. Just waiting for, I think, one more person to come in. I'm not entirely sure, and then we should be ready to go and start the second race. Is a reverse grid, so Aspect, Panda, Aaron, Jamie and Zumpy, the top 5, will be starting from the final position. I think it's P20 or P19 to P16 or P14, somewhere around those areas. I'm not the best at maths, so we'll all see once they get out on track. Quite the nature of track Kota, it's quite diverse. You've got the fast flowing section of sector 1 with the S section. It's not an awful lot of opportunity to overtake there unless you want to be really ambitious and try and go for a move there. it can be a spot if the other driver backs out. Then we have the long back straight through sector 2, which leads into the nice little slow and windy sector 3 that does open up a few opportunities to make a move. We've had quite a few battles go on around Kota in the history that we've had in FTRL, notably Season 8. For those of you who've been here for quite a while, you'll know what race I mean, between Pagani, Matt Cause, who's no longer with us, D4 Tomo, who used to race here for the season or 2 as well, and myself. Was battle going on from, I believe, lap 10 to pretty much to the end of the race. It was just non-stop. So this track does have that potential for a race, for a very good racing between drivers to go at it for the most part of the race. So hopefully, with it being a 25% distance, we will be able to have a lot more of that, as there's less chance for drivers to pull away from one another, obviously because there's less laps. So it should be very good. And hopefully there's no safety cars, because that just slows everything down, which makes things just a little bit awkward with the stopping and starting. But it is what it is. The safety car is quite sensitive on this game and comes out for whatever which reason it pleases. So it shouldn't be awfully long until we get back into racing. It looks like some people's connections are starting to sort themselves out. I don't know if that's something with possibly the Sony servers or possibly the servers for the game. We're not quite sure. It's just one of those things that happens. Not an awful lot you can do, but try and push through with it. Pagani in the chat saying don't mention Macos. Don't make me give a full driver profile of him, Paul. You all know you two had a bit of history, especially after that French pit lane incident in about season 7 of France. think I gave it a few bit of flashbacks there. This shouldn't be too long until we get in the race. As we are starting the race, about 5 seconds left on the timer and we shall be ready for race 2. So loading into Kota so far, and we should be getting ready to start round 2 of tonight's races, albeit a little bit delayed, but is what it is, as I've said. Just be letting everybody connect up to the track. So we will, everyone's just putting on their setup for Kota. We've got about 15 seconds until the race itself starts. I believe we will be using the formation lap. Just give all the drivers to dial themselves into the circuit a little bit, sort out the engine and ERS modes that they want before they start off on the line. Make those little changes on the MFD, the brake bias, the rear wheel differential, just all those little things that can have an impact on your launch, to be wanting to sort them out as much as they can to give them the best opportunity on the run down into turn 1. So we have Donzo, who is P1. As we've not got the best graphic here, let's try and get the tyres. There we go. Everyone on the soft compound. We've got Donzo in P1 and the Ferrari. Nexus Cat P2. The camera angles aren't working. We've got TRS in P3. With Panda P4 in his McLaren. Onto the podium P5. Just Mike is in 6th with Junkie Sport in P7. We've got Lee Cole in P8 in his Renault. He's has a history with that Renault. He was driving it last season. He had a few spins and bumps with it. He's already had a spin with it tonight. Got Zombie in P9 in his Toro Rosso. Guicarp, the man, the myth, the legend, currently running in P10 with AJ in 11th in the Haas car. Brutus running his Toro Rosso for the second race of tonight. P12 with Ross 13th. Switchback 14th. Cat 15th. Some P16th. Jamie fighting for. He finished last season 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. He is 17th for the second race. It's a reverse grid, mind you. So he's shown some good pace last race and he wanted to fight his way through. Aaron Taylor, P18 in his Force India, finished last race in 3rd. Picked up 15 points as everyone backs up as much as they can. Agent Panda, FTRL Panda, P19. He finished 2nd last race in his McLaren. Aspect taking the first win of season 13. He will be starting at the back of the grid. And I think that rounds everything up nicely. But the ruddy camera angle it's not helping us out. I think we'll just have to go on board until we get a decent enough run. Or maybe try another car, see what I can get. I think Cats will be the best one to go with for the start, and it changes to Donzo again. This isn't open. Right, so next is Cat is yellow flag in sector 3. That's the cars. The 5 red lights are out and away we go. Donzo gets a good start equally so for Nexus Cat. He's looking down the inside for turn 1. I think that was Junkie Sport getting in the mid-pack. There's been a big incident in turn 1. Can't quite tell what caused that. There was a little bit of contact as people's cars just somewhat merged together like a magnet. So that's a few broken front wings into the first section of the lap. Now, Nexus Cat managed to get down the inside of Donzo. That's allowed his teammate TRS to get through as well. That's Donzo down to third in the space of one corner onto the podium. He's at the back of his teammate in P4. Everyone just coming through the end of the first sector. A little bit of a bump between Zumpy and, I believe, Panda. They're going to go side by side through the chicane. A little bit of a bump there. I believe that was the front wing of a McLaren. So already a bit of damage for Panda. Lee Cole, he's dropped down one position to 15th. There's a little bit of a battle there. I think we've got Kat and Mike. They're out there side by side going down into the chicane. But, ooh, Jamie was looking towards the inside as well. He's attacking Mike, trying to get P13 off him. He's going to go around the outside. It will give him the inside for that double left-hander. So he'll manage to make his way through. He's now into P13. Junkie Sport, after that incident, he's gained a position. He's up on Ross. So we've got Nexus Cat currently leading 1.4 seconds behind his teammate TRS, who's only just over half a second from Donzo. Onto the podium, he'll be looking to get a lunge up the inside on his teammate into turn 1. Let's see, we're on board with him. He actually hangs back, okay. That's onto the podium, holding back. He is still P4 as everyone just runs through the flat out turn 2. Not really anyone fighting for position. I say that there's Aspect and Aaron Taylor. Aspect on the entry manages to get past or back past. I don't quite know what way they were fighting for, but that is onto the podium. He's had a spin through that section. I don't know if there was maybe a contact between himself and somebody else, just trying to get the track position. Unfortunately, another incident as well. Switchback has spun the car. Jamie and Aspect both in their own little battle. Jamie got him into the hairpin, so Aspect will be looking to get back in the shape of Panda. He was looking to join in on this, but he's not quite there. So Aspect, not the best angle. He's down the inside of Jamie. Can he get that position? Doesn't look quite. Doesn't look like he can get it just yet. He's hanging around the outside. It will give him the inside. It's just about there. So let's see, can he make it? Jamie just about hangs it round the outside. He's managed to defend his P9. Cat is 8th, Aaron not too far ahead of him, only a few tenths separating the two. Cat setting the fastest lap of a 35.2, I think that was, as DRS has now been enabled. Zumpy down inside of Donzo running into turn 1. That is Zumpy up into the podium positions, knocking the Ferrari down into 4th. Aspect running in 5th, side by side on the entry to the S section. Panda takes the better of it, holds back. There's always chance to get him on the straight. There's no need to be too hasty as TRS manages to pick himself up. A little bit of a time penalty. One driver pit, we've got switch back in the pits. Is that for a damaged wing? I don't know, because we caught him as he was leaving. So, ooh, close there between himself and Junkie Sport for a moment. Not getting the best of camera angles tonight. Just wanted to say that for the least, making things just that little bit more tricky. There's not just single file into the hairpin lead into sector 3. Ross and Agent Panda move side by side. There's Guikop trying to make him move around the outside. Is it gonna work? I don't know. They are side by side as the double left-hander. Is Guy gonna go for a switch back? Oh, not quite. Just tags the back of Ross a little bit. It's hoping to see a bit of a switch back from Guikop there. I think that would have blown the roof off the stream. I think everyone would be rooting for Guikop if he managed to pull that off. But he does have damage to that left-hand side of his end plate, so he's gonna have to pit in. on his 2-lap-old set of soft tyres. So that's going to promote Ross into 13th anyway. TRS and Donzo, they're still having their own little battle. We've got Brutus up on the back of them as well. He's trying to see where he can make a little bit of a move as he just cuts a little bit of the S section. That'll probably just be a warning. The Zumpy is leading the way, is leading the little pack we've got here by a fair bit. He's about 2 seconds ahead of them. Next is Cats running in P1. He's got about a 4-second gap, so he'll be happy with that right now. He's definitely using that soft tyre to its maximum potential. Aaron Taylor, he's just got past Donzo on the straight. I don't think a lunge into the hairpin is on for Brutus. He tucks in behind. There's more corners and there's more laps. He knows he doesn't need to go for it straight away. His Junkie Sport just picks up a little bit of a time penalty himself. Zombie and Jamie both having their little battle. Not much has changed between them, just a little bit of a switching between the two. They seem equal on pace, so they aren't really pulling out on each other that much. In Panda's just sitting back, observing, seeing what's going on. So you currently have the embarrassment of Pandas running in P10 and P14, both on the soft compound of tyre. So pretty straightforward for those two. We'll pop on board with Aaron for a bit. He's trying to make his way up to a podium position. Mind you, we did start about P17, I think it was, because of the reverse grid before. So it's definitely a good job from him to gain 12 positions in the 5 laps that he has managed. So it's a good job from him as Donzo just goes a little bit deep. So Aaron Taylor will be right on the back of Brutus as they go to start-finish straight. Brutus will have DRS just to try and hold Aaron back for that little bit longer. So he'll have that extra straight line speed to use for defence, but Aaron will also have the double slipstream to try and make his way past. Brutus going down for the inside TRS. Aaron looked like he's going to try and make that free wide. Just nips it down the inside, just a little bit of a bump between tyres with the two. There's them side by side through the left hand for the first right-hander of sector 3. Aaron holding it down the inside to the double left. Ooh, looks like Brutus was going for the switch back there, never quite paid off. He just got a bit of oversteer. TRS is now 4th, but he's gone deep and he's got both of the 14 he's attacking him. He's got Brutus there on the outside with a little bit of wheel bang between the two, and then Katamise just hanging back, which is quite unusual for himself. But Donzo just slightly wide. Then he moves into turn 1. Looks like Cat's going to go for a lunge down the inside of the Williams. Just about makes it work. The Williams or TRS just pretty much having no choice but to concede the position. We'll move on board now, and he is now into P3. So he will be happy with that. He'll be in for another podium. He will have to pit in, I believe. He's done 5 laps on this medium tyre, so he didn't come in on lap 1. So you'll be able to see for sure with this graphic, the stops. Only the guys from P14 to P20 have done a stop. Everybody else needs to do one. Now, Aaron's gained 15 positions from his starting point, and Zumpy has gained 14. Cat gaining 11, and also Jamie's about 11 to 10 because he's in a battle himself. So everyone's getting so close to each other. It's definitely showing the fact that there's 2 divisions of drivers. All the difference in pace in the reverse grids throwing up quite a bit of action. Everyone, you could throw a blanket over this lot and you'd still have a lot of blanket left to cover. Even more, there's been contact between TRS and Aspect. Nice and Aspect into a half spin through the triple right-hander. It's a yellow flag. Ross just makes his way around the outside. That's him up into 11th. Switchback, hanging back in 16th. He's under attack by Lee, trying to defend position. Lee will be trying to find a way to get through as quick as possible. he will want to be making his way forward. Move towards the front of the grid, not much laps. The gaps are beginning to spread a bit with those lads. So we just had TRS exiting the pit lane. He's on a set of mediums, as is Ross and Aspect. Aspect's actually on a new set of softs, so he'll be running that tyre to the end of the race. Switchback not quite gonna get him. There's a few seconds between the two, I think. Oh, there's quite a few seconds between the two. Aspect almost going side by side with Ross on the entry to the S section in sector 1. So a little bit close between those two. We have Donzo and Zombie both in. Oh, looked like Donzo was looking to see if there was something down the inside of the late stage of that braking zone. Couldn't quite manage to get it through. The Junkie Sport picking up a 3-second time penalty. A nice camera shot of Aaron flowing through that triple right-hander. So he'll be looking to close the gap as much as he can within the next few laps, because the soft tyre will be quite worn out. It is quicker, but it does also wear out more, as it is the softer compounded tyre. His next is Cat pitting in. And with the best angle, he's P5 coming up the pits. Is that going to drop any more? Aaron Taylor's in 6th, he's pitting. So is Jamie Panda, and Agent Panda. Both McLarens. So is this double stop? Is that double stop going to work? Is he going to get held up for a little bit? It's just a little bit. She's on a new set of medium tyres. They'll come out around P15, P16. So Aaron on a new set of soft compound tyres. He will be running this to the end, pitting in at the halfway point on lap 8 of 14. There's not too much going on. Everyone's just making the pit stops and gaps starting to spread out just that slight little bit. So everyone will just be, with these opening couple of races, they'll be getting the bearings and everything, figuring out the drivers around them, because for some of these lads they are racing completely different drivers than you were last season. Some drivers will know others. Obviously Lee Cole, as an example, we'll hop on board with him for a moment. Lee Cole will know how a fair few of these drive. He's been around for a while. He is an admin himself. So it just goes to show that previous knowledge of drivers. Some people might not know that Katamise is a little bit aggressive with some of the moves he makes. So that'll be one of the things people are trying to figure out. They'll be wanting to see how complacent another driver can be and how defensive or attacking they can be. It's all those things you figure out at the start of a new season. Junkie Sport being the only driver running the set of hards. He's about 6 laps into his stint. And Jamie is in P5. He's got a good comeback from the start. He's P4. He's gained about 9 positions, I think. Let's have a look. I think that's wrong. Let's have a look. Positions gained. We can't quite find it. Let's have a look. There we go. Positions gained. Jamie's went up 12 positions, Kat's went up 11. With Aaron, he's now up 16 positions as he's just about overtook Zumpy. I think it's not the best spot to overtake, it's leaving him under attack in the first sector. As Zombie gets a 10-second penalty exceeding the track limits, that will more than likely be the S section. Aaron holding the position into the hairpin. He is now up into P2. And Nexus Cat will be the next driver for him to try and catch. He's got the compound to do it and he is quick in general, so I wouldn't count him out of managing to get that position. TRS is retired, so we'll see. I don't quite know where he's retired. It looks like he's on the side of the back street, so we'll go on board. Yeah, he's just pulled the car up on the side. That's unfortunate with TRS. He's now the only driver to retire from a race tonight. So Nexus Cat's just under 2 seconds ahead of Aaron. He's really starting to close the gap in now. He's gained about 4 or 5 tenths. Panzer setting a 34.4 in the McLaren. He's looking good on that new set of mediums. He'll be trying to catch up to the back of Cat. We've got onto the podium right behind Brutus. He will be looking, he's looking around the outside of the entry to the S section, but just tucks back in, showing his sign of intent towards Brutus, trying to put a bit of pressure on the car in front, as he likes to do. So we'll be seeing a move, well, an attempt of a move down into the hairpin. Not too long. So Brutus about half a second in front of onto the podium. He's to the inside and then back to the racing line, trying to break that slipstream onto the podium. It's not quite enough. Onto the podium, didn't have the straight line speed to get right up side by side before the hairpin. So he'll have to stay behind for a little bit longer. Donzo and Mike having their own little battle, the Ferrari and the Racing Point. I have to stop calling it the Force India because it's not a Force India. It just goes a little bit wide through the double right-hander. AJ and Junkie Sport both having their little battle for the final position, so it's good that they're not just letting each other through, they're still fighting. That's the spirit we want to see. Junkie Sport giving them a little tap, encouraging them through the corner, trying to give them a bit of a hurry up. So Aaron Taylor right on the back of Nexus Cat. Nexus will be trying to defend to get his first win of the season, with Aaron trying to take his second podium of the season and his first win. So 8 tenths coming through the hairpin for I was going to say start finish straight. It's the back straight. We're looking to get that DRS. He's not hiring his engine. He's not hiring the ERS right up. So he's just sticking behind for now. He's not quite ready to go on the attack. He does have 3 laps to get it done, so it's not an awful lot of pressure for Aaron, but it's a lot of pressure for Nexus Cat. He's only 3 seconds ahead as Cat and Panzer go side by side. Cat just about managing to get through. So that is Cat into P4 and Panzer in P5. Jamie's not too far off the back of them as well. He'll be closing up to them quite soon. Aaron only, it says only a tenth. He got quite close to the back of Cat for a minute. He's now 4 tenths. We'll see if there's anything he can do on this start finish straight. He is quite close behind. He's got the DRS. The ERS is also turned up. Cat's aggressively defending that inside line. Aaron's going to go right around the outside, and that is the move for the race lead. Mike getting a 3-second penalty. So Aaron will be wanting to use that corner and grip on the soft tyre to just pull out as much as he can to not allow Cat to use DRS to try and get back, as Aaron has set the fastest first sector. Panzer, he's gone out. I think he might have had an incident with Cat, because Cat's got damage on his wing, and he did pretty much cut part of the S sections. That's unfortunate for Panzer. 2 laps off the end of the race, and he's suffered a late retirement. It's a little bit of a side by side with a Haas, it looked like for a moment. We've got Goikarp P16. He's being overtaken by Agent Panda, and they'll all be bumping up 1 position off the retirement of FTRL Panda, his teammate. Goikarp not far off the back of Agent Panda, so could we see an overtake from Goikarp on the second to last lap, the 3rd to last lap? He will be in the DRS. He's going to have some slipstream because Panda doesn't have the DRS. So let's see, can he make it on board with Goikarp? He's closing up rapidly on the straight. Not quite under brakes. Agent Panda just about manages to brake a little bit later. These two have been teammates before. Season 8, they were both a Red Bull driver. Both teammates. So they have a little bit of a history between the two. Junkie Sport and AJ both practically okay. Junkie Sport and AJ pretty much merging in between each other. That's a little bit strange, but it happens. I don't quite know what happened there. I say Cat is still running with that wing damage. That's got Ross up to P7, so he will be happy with how he's doing so far. Onto the podium, running P6 currently. He'll be chasing after Brutus. He's only got a lap and a half to get it done. Aaron's pulled outside of the DRS of Nexus Cat, so there's not a lot going on there with them two. Zumpy is also outside the DRS. Mike and Cat both side by side into turn. Is that turn one? Is that the hairpin for the straight? Yes, the hairpin for the straight. Mike just about holds it. Now Cat's under threat by Donzo. Donzo will be looking to try and see if we can get a move switch back at the back of this little pack, but we've got Cat going down the inside. I think Mike just thought best. It's the best option to just let Cat through and not fight it too hard. That is Cat through into 8th with half of a front wing. But Mike's not looking like he's done with him just yet. He's going down the inside into the double chicane. Double left hand, it's 3 wide on the exit. Cat, Donzo and switchback. Is that switch? Oh, there's a bit of contact. Switchback tried to go around the outside. He just clipped the side of Donzo. You see him to understate just that little bit. A little bit of a bumping and barging between the few. Donzo up into P9. Cat down to P10. That might be P11 in a moment. Switchback is right on the back of Cat with the DRS. Cat surprisingly doesn't have it. So that'll be drop zone 2, making the move up into P10 at the first corner. Non-lock Cat can do with a damaged wing to fight back. So Aaron Taylor down the back straight leading the second race. 9-10 separating Cat and Zumpy, but it's not enough to get a move done. Aspect getting around Cat. There'll be Zombie trying to find his way around Cat in a moment as well. On the final lap of the race, he'll be wanting to take that P12, finish behind his teammate. Obviously, you don't want to finish behind your teammate, but when there's a car in front of you with a damaged wing, you don't want your teammate. You don't want to be split between the teammates. So let's see. Is Cat going to aggressively defend? Is Zombie going to lunge down the inside? Not quite. Just holds back, but he's going to have him on the exit, as he's got the better grip. He's got the better downforce because he's got his full wing intact. Aaron Taylor takes the lead. He wins the race. Next is Cat and Zumpy there. Ghost Cars having a little bit of a battle. Jamie P4 manages to come back from the back of the grid. Brutuson onto the podium, taking 5th and 6th with Ross in 7th and Mike coming around to take 8th. In the Force India switchback, managing to take P9, I'll be happy with that. That will be P10. There's been penalties. He separated himself, Donzo and Aspect. Cat's in P10, Mike's down into 12th with Lee Cole 13th and Zombie 14th. He's now 15th based on penalties. Panda 16th with AJ 17th and Junkie 18th. A great drive for Aaron tonight. He's gained 17 positions from where he started. He will be happy with that to take a double podium in tonight's round. Australia, Spain and Kota. It's a good haul of points for him tonight, and if I'm not mistaken, that will put him in the lead of the Division 1 driver standings. He finished P3 and P1, so he will be pleased with that. He'll have absolutely nothing to complain about. A good couple races for him tonight. You got Grandad Bob showing Aaron a bit of support in the races. So a great drive from Aaron puts him in the lead of the constructors. He's one of the only drivers not to take a penalty tonight. He's P1. Next is Cat. He put up a fight to try and hold position but couldn't quite he's P2 with Zumpy third rounding off the podium in the Haas. Jamie P4 in the Red Bull with Brutus in P5. I was going to say the Netherlands driver. He's P5th, yeah. Onto the podium 6th, Ross 7th, Donzo 8th with Aspect 9th, and Cat rounding out the top 10. The switchback in P11. Lee Cole 13th, Zombie 4th, Huicorp 14th with Zombie 15th, Panda 16th. Panda is 17th with AJ 16th, Junkie Sports 18th, Panda 19th, and TRS is 20th. The last two drivers having a DNF, unfortunately. So it's not loading us back into the lobby for whatever reason. We don't quite want to leave the lobby, so I don't quite know what's happened here. So Cat is happy, saying finally his podium has come. So, with all that, tonight, round 1 and 2 of season 13 now finished. We will be just doing the outro, letting us know what races we have next. Tomorrow will be GT2 for Gran Turismo. That'll be live streamed by, I believe, Aaron, our race winner, and Pagani, who will be also commentating alongside him for GT2. We'll get the graph up. Let's see what tracks we've got for them, because I think they have a couple decent tracks tomorrow night, which they should be happy with. Let's see. So Division 2, they will be racing the Dragon Trail, Seaside, and Kyoto Yamagiwa. So a couple interesting tracks. We've got the we've got the Chicane of Death for those lads to deal with, so that'll be fun for them. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow we will have, not tomorrow, on Friday for the GT1 lads, that'll be live streamed by Switchback himself. That'll be at Alsace Village and Sardegna Layout B. Next week on Tuesday, you are blessed with me commentating again. I will be joined by Pagani as well, who is going to be re-downloading F1. He doesn't like the game, but he's downloading it to help me out on comms, so it's a little bit of a dedication from him. He's showing his dedication to helping me out. So next week we will be running Brazil for race 1 and Canada for race 2. That'll be 8 o'clock for round 2 out of 10. For race 3 and 4 out of 20. So for those who have been watching start to finish, thank you for popping back in after the little bit of a technical hiccup we had with the connections of the servers going. And we will see you on Friday. Thanks for watching.